Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast with your host, hailing from Kaukauna, Wisconsin, riding a CST tires, SSI decals, Valvoline-packed Yamaha YFC 450R, four-time ATV motocross national champion, number 25, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody?
We're back.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, episode 162 of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, CST Tires, in stock and available for purchase today at shop.csttires.com. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, saying hello to our more than 284,000 monthly Digging Deep listeners in 110 countries in which you are listening, and this is a very special Digging Deep episode celebrating the end of an era. You may be thinking, where is the Pleasure Valley Review Show? That one will be dropping in the next couple days, but this one was too big and too important to hang on to or place in the middle of a race review pod. This past week, Chad Wienen quietly confirmed, tucked at the end of his round 9 recap on social media, that the Briarcliff season finale will mark the last dance of his full-time AMA pro racing career. Across a legendary career spanning more than 2 decades, Chad has racked up 66 AMA ATV Pro Class overall wins and 144 career podium finishes. A lock for everyone's ATV racing Mount Rushmore, he'll aim to add a few final stats stateside before heading overseas one last time to represent Team USA at the Quad Cross of Nations. It's the end of a legendary era, and an emotional Chad Wienen joins the episode ahead to discuss his decision, what led him to it, what these last couple outings will be like, what's next, and more. This is a big one. But first, let's quickly shout out all of our incredible partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Lauderdale Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing, our choice when it comes to case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com, and Manscaped to get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. Whether it's the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the GOAT of electric razor trimmers, my personal favorite, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped, or the best nose hair trimmer ever created, the Weed Whacker 2.0, get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. Support all the great companies that support us, and for any products that fall through the cracks, click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website to help us out. It's that time of year. We both know you and your machine both need a little TLC, and no matter what off-road gear parts you need, Rocky Mountain ATVMC has you covered. But before you buy, simply click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. By using our specific link, we get a percentage of what you buy on the back end, enabling you to help us out while purchasing the parts you need anyway. And did you know you can buy OEM parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC as well? Yep, shipped conveniently right to your door. So click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying all your gear and parts needs. Shout out to all of our donors, and if you are interested in donating and hearing your name on the show, you can find the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee donation links on our website. Major thanks to all who have donated, of course. Now, if you can't donate but you still want to help us out, you can leave us a rating or a review on iTunes and Spotify, because that helps us out a bunch too. Now, it's showtime. The 30-second board is up. It's sideways and the gate is down. Time to dig deep.
Let's go!
All right, guys, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast following the Pleasure Valley round. And it is my absolute pleasure to be once again joined by all-time legend of the sport, 8-time series champion, Mr. Chad Wienen, joining me yet again on the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. Chad, it's been a minute since you've been on the show. Welcome back, pal.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's good. It's been a busy year, of course, and just like trying to put all my work into, trying to finish out this year strong. And it's been good though. I mean, it's been struggles at times, but I've had a lot of good times too.
So how are we feeling? Because you kind of got tied up in that melee there at the start of Moto 2 at Pleasure Valley there. So how are we feeling, first of all?
Yeah. No, I feel fine. I took a little shot to like my right forearm in that deal, but it's kind of bothered me through like that last moto. But I feel fine now, kind of coming out of that and just trying to trying to actually take a few days just to recoup and get my body right. So I'm strong for the finale.
Man, it's been a while since we've seen something like that at the start of a pro race. Like, not very often have we seen a number of guys get tied into something like that. And shoot, that was gnarly. Like the way that it spun your quad around, man, that was nuts.
Yeah, no, it wasn't it wasn't a fun ride. Yeah, just kind of came out of the gate pretty strong, like gated really well. Wesley pulled up along me and then got like a wheel on me. And I feel like he had, I don't know, he was racing for a podium and I was a podium threat. And I feel like he kind of started pushing right to, either make me check up or whatever would happen. But yeah, just like I didn't necessarily like, I felt the pressure of him pushing against me, but I didn't know if it was because he was running out of room on the inside that he needed to make room. And watching like one of the drone shot of that, you could see where he started steering right into me. And I don't know, I'm not too happy about it because, at this point in my career, I don't want to be doing that stuff. And I've already ended up on my head, with an accident with him. So I don't know. I want to be clean. I want to clean racing. I would have loved to got through that whole shot and race him for that podium, but it just wasn't meant to be on that end.
Yeah, so that whole shot too, right, is a little dicey because if you got a good jump on the outside and you're kind of trying to move over, and then that's going on the inside, right? Like you were sandwiched into basically like this pressure point, like you said, where something had to give. And like I said, the way that you saw your machine take the pressure that it did, spun all the way around. Zach Decker goes for a crazy ride, and Max is in the middle of this thing, and yeah, just was a bummer deal because I thought you were destined for a podium on this day. I mean, first moto was great. Like you rode really well, qualified well. You've been really good at Pleasure Valley over the years. Like I thought this was going to be your day, man. So that was a bummer. Like I was super bummed just to have it start that second moto start that way. It took all the air out of the balloon for me.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like good feelings throughout the day, even in qualifying and even that after that first moto or later in that first moto, I really started to like catch my flow, and because I was riding pretty tight, like early on, like racing with Wesley and then having Joel like pushing on me as well. And once I kind of got like shuffled a little bit, and then I was able to kind of get some clean air and really start to run the lines that I wanted to run. And I was able to kind of push back up on Bryce at the end of that race, and I could see him kind of like losing a little bit of wind. So I was kind of like, just, all right, let's get to that second moto and let's hash it out from there. And, but like I'm glad that I'm 100% good, ready for this final round and the last dance of my career. And I'm just, I don't know what could have been. Yeah. But maybe there's something special waiting for me at this finale.
I hope so, man. You got the lead there at Pleasure Valley a little bit too, which is cool. And I imagine because of that have been the first laps you led this year, possibly. So that had to feel good, right?
Yeah, it did. Like I led some laps at Lake Sugar Tree.
Oh yes, you did. Yep, you did. But either way, right? They've been a little numbered this year, so like that had to be a great feeling, I would think.
Yeah, no, I felt like normal. That's the best I felt all year at the like in between motos. That feeling in my body, like it hasn't been the same like all year. Like the nerves and like my kind of like the like basically the level that I expect myself to be at, and I haven't been able to ride there. And maybe it's because of just I think more on the mental side of like hanging it out, and I don't feel like I want to do that. And it felt normal to run that pace this weekend, which I like, and I can do that all day as long as everything feels right.
Yeah. So you hinted at it already, talking about the last dance. So it's funny because I didn't even know, like we hadn't had these conversations, and just I had a feeling, as the season kind of came down the stretch. So I wanted to talk to you either way. Like I wasn't even trying to set you up to like announce anything on my show or anything like that. I just wanted to talk to you knowing what I thought this last round may mean for you and your career. And then I think like shortly after I had messaged you, I see this post pop up, and at the very end of the post, it reads the last dance, of your full-time racing career. So I didn't even know that was coming, but I knew that I wanted to talk to you. At what point did you know that this is how this was going to go? Was this the goal from the beginning, or was it just a feeling that came as this played out that, okay, I came back from this major injury, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and the writing was on the wall?
Yeah. I mean, like for me, like, it was the goal. The goal is always, make a run at it and make a run at race wins and championship. And, I found out that, being out for that year and coming back from a big injury like that, like I did that I did that with my back in my 20s. So it was, I was like, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come back and do the same thing. And, it was easier said than done, but the challenge is what keeps me ticking. I love that challenge. And when I knew that this was going to be my last round or my last year, it was at Sunset Ridge. Even though I got a podium that day on my home soil, was awesome day. I just knew how I felt throughout the day. Like I had nerves, like it was my first race, and I definitely shouldn't feel that way. How many gate drops did I have? Yeah. And it's all because of the pressure that I put on myself, and then also just the level that I expect myself to be at, and fighting. Like the way I fought that day for a podium it felt like that should be like fighting for a race win, like the way that I was kind of putting the effort into it. But I think the biggest thing is I don't know, Father Time is catching up to me on I think more of the mental side of, what I had to lose and all that, and what I had to gain. And I'm a very methodical rider, I really think things through. And I think that's one of my big problems on track. I'm thinking a lot and I'm thinking too much, where maybe back years ago, I still thought, but I would still take those risks and take those inches on the track. Mm-hmm. But when I was at Tomahawk, I was behind Joel in that second moto where he got a bad start and he kind of picked his way through. Yeah. And there was a couple spots on that first couple lap where he was, putting his nose in there and making moves. And I was honestly sitting there behind him. I'm like, man, 5 years ago, I would have been doing that stuff. And that doesn't come across my mind anymore to do anything like that, where my passes are going to be 2 lines and I'm going to go around the outside. I'm going to go on the inside. I'm not going to touch anybody. And I don't know, just not the same racecraft as, what I would have been doing, years ago.
So is there something to be said about, taking a year away? Obviously, like you said, you're a year away and it maybe affects the sharpness of your mind and those things, but also does it give you a glimpse into life after racing? And then that is part of the math too, where it's I want to be able to, you've had a couple major injuries now. One is really fresh and you don't want to jeopardize any of that because you got an entire life to live with your family yet, So I kind of in my mind was thinking that it's not just the fact that you're racing some dudes that are 20 years younger than you, which I'm sure is also a factor here. But at the same time, I'm like, man, there's times even for me, when I was, racing some of these, even pro sport, right? And I'm racing these kids and I'm I don't want to do that,
Yeah. Yep. No, I got a taste of what's life without racing last year, and some stuff I did, but it actually really drove me to the point where I was I'm not ready to step away because I feel like I still have more in the tank. And I feel like I still have, more in the tank for, on my best days, but like the days that I'm not clicking or like, the extreme heat that we had at that one round, like it really affected me a lot. And, I'm not used to that. I'm a gamer that, that podium streak kind of speaks for itself, being able
right, it does.
to show up, no matter what happens, like show up and be there. But, just, a lot of talks with my wife and, family and, just trying to figure out that direction. And, at sunset after that race, like I was sitting at the table having dinner with my family, and I looked at my wife and I'm like, Danica, like this is going to be it. And, something about that just kind of hit home that weekend. And, it was awesome. I'm obviously I've been able to enjoy so much, and especially maybe it was just a thing, like home soil, like that was the time that it hit me, and I feel good about it.
You should. You've battled some things this year, obviously coming back from injury. You had a couple, little get-offs and just uncharacteristic things as you got back into the swing of this whole thing. At the same time, though, it's been a really strong season, to step away, to be away from racing for an entire year. I think that we saw the class get that much better throughout that time. I mean, the lap times that everybody is running, how close everybody is, it's nuts. And I sound like a broken record on some of these shows talking about that. But it's been really good. I mean, to come back from injury, get a podium right away at Daytona, a couple races later, you get another podium at Lake Sugar Tree there, like you said, and then you get another podium at the Triple Crown at Walnut. So it's been a really good year. Like I said, you were in podium position. You're in a podium position at Tomahawk, right? Late. Yeah. You were in podium position, obviously going into the second moto here at Pleasure Valley. Like it's been a really strong year. It was really fun earlier in the season to hear Mike Walsh, who we had on the show a number of times reviewing some of the races with us. And he obviously big part of your program for forever. And it was fun to hear him talk about how early on, especially as you're coming back and all this is fresh again, you were away from the races for a long time. And he's like, there's so much joy in it for Chad right now, like earning a podium. And maybe it's because it wasn't easy, was like a really big, fun, cool deal. And to hear that about a guy that has been on the podium 144 times and, won 66 races and all these things, like that's a pretty special thing, like and you're a big sports guy too. Like nobody wants to see their heroes go away as, somebody who can't throw the ball anymore, like Peyton Manning or Drew Brees and those things like late in their career. So to be where you're at, and again, racing guys that are half your age in a class that these guys were on minis not that long ago when you were racing, at the top of the pro class and winning championships. It's pretty special that you're still in the mix. Like that's at least my perspective. And again, to hear Mike talk about the joy that you and your family had being back at the races and cherishing some of these, these highlights of your season, one of which was that second place finish there at Lake Sugar Tree in that moto. That's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we can back those statements. And, we knew that, going in that, we did miss a lot of time, and obviously I want to jump back in the ring at the sharp end of it, and we did pretty well with that, and it takes a lot of luck, and my sharpness isn't as sharp as what it used to be on having like that Triple Crown, like getting hung up on the berm, like I could probably tell you there's not many times that I get stuck on the track where I have to get off the machine,
No.
So
I remember in the moment, Chad, thinking I've never seen this before.
Yeah. Yeah. And like a lot of firsts, a lot, like, it might not have been a first, but like a lot of new things this year that have challenged, and have challenged me.
Or the Echikani thing with the Nerf bar, Chad.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my foot getting stuck in the Nerf bar, and that's never happened before. Like, going between there and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, it's a challenge, and it's been a fun challenge. And these riders that are in this class are really going fast, and the way that they can attack the track, and they kind of calm down, around the 10-minute mark, and then it's kind of a little more like methodical racing, where like I can kind of jump in, I can kind of use my racecraft and stuff like that. But it's super difficult to make moves early on in this class unless you really, really hang it out. And I had, one moto where I actually did that. I did it that first moto at Tomahawk, where I made a lot of passes, and man, that felt good to be able to do that, because that track was pretty treacherous, and you didn't want to get stuck behind somebody, because you could really lose touch of them.
I knew Chad Wienen would be eating up some of that Tomahawk stuff as that track got rougher and rougher. I knew you'd be licking your chops, so it was really fun to see some of these highlights this season. Like I said, there's been some hurdles, but I knew the competitor in you. Like, I knew these challenges weren't going to be something that you were. It's almost like I knew you'd be up for the challenge. I knew you'd be up for the challenge, and that would motivate you. And I'm glad that you got the opportunity to come back and do this thing, and you'll never have doubt. Think about if you would have not got this opportunity, and you would have felt like unfinished business. Nobody, and we have these conversations with so many people. Like, you want to be able to go it on your own terms. And that's what you got to do this season. And if you didn't get that opportunity, I would hate to think what that would look like for you. Like, that would be awful.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, that's what I wanted. And, like, even after this year, like, I'm not just gonna, hang up my boots and be done. I just don't, I want to still race. I want to race like some bucket list races, maybe not so many races here in the States, but a lot of them like out of the country, and take my family and be able to see more of the world, and
awesome.
Just enjoy. It's kind of like going to a local race. The pressure's off. You just going to have fun. And like when I'm going to these races, like I'm still going to have fun, but I'm there to work, and I'm there to earn my keep still. And I want to get back to kind of that grassroots feel of racing still, and the pressure's off, and just enjoying riding my floor, because man, like the practice days, the preparation days, like I enjoy those days so much. Like, even to this day, like, I have to tell myself to, not ride and to be at my best. Like, I just love being on track and, working on my craft. And, so there's going to be more racing afterwards. It's just not going to be AMA pro racing.
Got it. And that was going to be my very next question, is I was going to ask, with this last dance of full-time racing, AMA racing, the way that you termed it, I was like, okay, so does that mean he's going to race Walnut every year? Like, what's like a J-Mart situation? Like, what's the story? So, to do some bucket list races, and do some racing internationally and more stuff like that, bring the family. I think obviously that sounds like the perfect situation. And then we have the Quad Cross of Nations yet after this whole Briarcliff thing. That's going to kind of be the real swan song. It reminds me of, Ricky Carmichael in 07 or whatever. You're still very competitive, same way he was at the time, still right at the front of Motocross of Nations for him, Quad Cross of Nations for you. So that's going to be really special too. I would think you could probably call the upcoming Quad Cross of Nations now, with this whole scenario, it's got to be one of the most meaningful appearances for you, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be probably the toughest one too, with the conditions of the track that we'll be racing on. And like, honored to be back with the team. I feel like I've earned my spot this year. Nothing given to that, because I don't know. I just feel like I haven't been as consistent, but I'm still there. And but man, like, hopefully I can bring my best stuff for the nations and ride that thing home. With our win. And it's gonna be tough. I'm really looking forward to that challenge. But we got a great group of people behind us, great riders that are representing the team, and we're gonna give it our all.
Yeah, you've won. You won 5 of these so far, right? This would be number 6, potentially seeking number 6. So that's a pretty special deal. And again, we talk about this so much with you, but with the Quad Cross of Nations for you specifically, you, Thomas, and Harv, Mark, that's how this whole thing started. So I know you got as much pride as anybody with this thing. So again, I know you don't take it lightly representing the team. And at one point, I mean, like you said, very competitive class, multiple podium finishers at this point. So I was like, man, Chad's got to get himself in position to make it so that this isn't too much of a debate here. And down the stretch, you've really solidified that. So obviously that's going to be emotional. Quad Cross of Nations will be emotional. What do you think the emotions are going to be like at Briarcliff? Like, is it going to be relief? Is it going to, I mean, obviously it's going to be heavy, right? It's going to be heavy for sure. But what do you think that's going to feel like?
We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. The official tire choice of Digging Deep, CST tires are the choice of ATV racing's elite on the track, in the woods, and every other terrain. CST tires swept the ATV racing world in 2022 as Joel Hetrick, Bryson Neal, and Bo Barron rode their Pulse MXR and Pulse HT tires to an ATV Pro Motocross title, GNCC XC1 Pro title, and 10th ATV Pro Works Racing title, respectively. Led by champion Joel Hetrick and podium contenders Bryce Ford, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Nick Janusa, CST's Pulse MXR tire is the most trusted tire in ATV motocross today. Available in soft and standard compounds, the Pulse MXR offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. And did I mention they have a contingency program as well? Visit shop.csttires.com to join the CST takeover today, or prepare to be beat by someone who did. The best of the best choose CST. Do you? You know we're Team Blue Crew here at the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, as the Yamaha YFZ450R is the official ATV of Digging Deep. In a move started by 8-time ATVMX Pro Class National Champion Chad Wienen, who with his next championship will become the winningest champion in ATV motocross history, we are living in ATV racing's YFZ450R era. Alongside Wienen, 7-time GNCC XC1 Pro ATV National Champion Walker Fowler welcomed a pair of new champions to the Yamaha Champions Club, as the podium-proven Yamaha YFZ450R proved to be the winning choice for Joel Hetrick and Bryson Neal. This unprecedented success for the YFZ450R, its unrivaled quality and performance, and the clear fact that Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing has resulted in a complete Yamaha takeover within the sport quad market. Evident by the continuation of Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program, Yamaha riders will once again cash in on payout and prize opportunities in 2023, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ450R. For more info, head over to YamahaBlueCrew.com. Follow Yamaha Outdoors, as well as the new Blue Crew official channel on social media, and check out Yamaha's full proven off-road lineup at YamahaOutdoors.com today. SSI Decals, your way. SSI Decals sets the standard with the best looking decals, graphics kits, and vinyl wraps in the industry. Established in 1947, SSI took shape as an offshoot of their parent company by doing a little work for local pro Chad Wienen. Nearly 2 decades later, and fueled by a passion for ATVs, the company has flourished into one of ATV Moto's most recognized brands. From ATV motocross, SSI has expanded into graphics and design work for top racers in GNCC, Works Racing, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Off-Road, and more, headlined by 8-time world champion Top Fuel drag racer Clay Milliken. Whether your project is big or small, SSI Decals will make your identity stick. Get started today at SSIDecals.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 for 10% off at checkout. Things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast is brought to you in part by DID and their wide range of championship-winning chains. From the street to the track and everywhere in between, DID chains are designed to give you the optimal riding experience with great performance and increased chain life. Consistent to the core, pick up your box of reliability today. DID, what drives you? For over 150 years, Valvoline has been dedicated to constant improvement and innovation across all disciplines of racing. As a proud member of Team Valvoline for nearly a decade, I have witnessed their unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of performance. Valvoline has sponsored some of the greatest names in motorsports, solidifying their position as a powerhouse within the industry. Being a part of this historically great team has been an incredible privilege. When it comes to my equipment, whether it's my daily commuting vehicles, race quads, or anything in between, I trust nothing but Valvoline. Their range of products and lubricants consistently deliver increased horsepower, durability, and engine life. I'm excited to announce Valvoline's breakthrough in performance, Valvoline Ultimate Power Sports. With up to 8 times stronger rust protection and 50% better wear protection, this cutting-edge formula ensures your ATV's engine runs smoother and longer for the ultimate ride. Tackle rugged terrains with confidence knowing your ATV's engine is equipped with the best protection available. Ready to experience the next level of performance? Head over to shop.valvolineglobal.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 at checkout to unlock an exclusive 10% off on your purchase. Don't miss out on this limited time offer to enhance your ATV's performance with Valvoline's Ultimate Power Sports engine oil.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
The following message is brought to you by Manscaped.com. The Manscaped engineering team has outdone themselves this time, creating the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, now available for purchase in the US and Canada. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, an official sponsor of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, with this exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at Manscaped.com. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0 and I am blown away. This thing is next level. What sets this trimmer apart from all the rest? The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. It features a new multi-functioning on-off switch with travel lock for those of us who like to travel. And my favorite, the new trimmer allows you to customize your trim with 4 different guard lengths, an upgrade from its predecessor that only featured 2. If you're listening, you know that good tools are a must, so wait no more to get the best tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com by using code DIGGINGDEEP20.
Hey everyone, this is Larry Mills, president of DP Brakes North America and proud partner of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. We at DP Brakes are a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheel racers on the planet. This year's lineup includes Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin and Baldwin Motorsports, Ford Brothers Racing, Nick Janusa, and many more, including Mr. Digging Deep himself, Cody Jansen. Plus all the top 17 GNCC pros such as 7-time champion Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and previous champion Chris Borich. These top riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer. Products that ultimately help place them on top of the podium week after week. DP brakes are available through www.dp-brakes.com, or you can purchase them through your local Parts Unlimited stocking dealer, or you can even message us, myself, Larry Mills, or DP Brakes on Instagram or Facebook. And if you have any questions about product or sponsorship support, please ask us. We are waiting for you. Join the best ATV riders in the world equipped with DP Brakes, and have a great year, everyone.
Headlined by their 4130 Chromoly, Launderville Steel and Concrete Supply is a full-service steel supplier of new and surplus steel, aluminum, and stainless steel products. This racing family-owned full metal service center and concrete product supplier comes with over 30 years of experience serving the entire United States from their central Midwest location. As the #1 choice for nationwide shipments and with available next-day delivery in select areas, LSE has you covered near or far. 4130 is not just the chromoly tubing and plate used in the building of chassis for an array of motorsports applications, but it is also the name of the newest addition to the pro paddock with riders Jaden JJ Launderville and Max Lindquist, introducing the new 4130 Motorsports team. Launderville Steel offers a large selection of material for any project, including their concrete division that can supply everything you need to complete your next business or personal project. For a quote or more info, visit laundervillesteel.com today or give them a call at 715-675-6193. That's 715-675-6193. With the desire to keep you in the race, Ultimate Poly Products offers the Ultimate Protection collection of case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Founded on quality in 1998, this family-owned and operated business produces products created by racers for racers. These industry-leading products are proudly made and manufactured in the USA, with their case savers being made of the highest quality American-made polyurethane on the market and designed to completely conform to your engine case to help prevent case damage from a thrown chain, because no one wants to be a spectator on race day. Join top pro riders like Bryson Neal, Walker Fowler, John Glotta Jr., Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, and more by using UPP Racing products. Use discount code DiggingDeep15 at uppracing.com to save on your next order. Ultimate Poly products, made to last longer so you can ride more.
Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. What do you think that's going to feel like?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I haven't experienced it. This is something that I've done for, professionally this is, I don't know, like year 21, 22. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's going to be interesting, but like, that little blip that I put at the bottom of my post, the response from that, friends, family, and there's a lot of people that are planning to be there. And I think that's the coolest thing, that they want to be there for that.
Well, I was going to ask you if anything special was going to happen. And I know that your process isn't going to change. And I'm glad you let everybody know that it was going to be the end of full-time racing so that, everybody gets the opportunity to come and enjoy this and cherish this. But that was going to be my other question was, I'm sure that you're going to have a ton of your support system, people, fans, sponsors, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come out for this one. I would think this announcement alone that this is it makes Briarcliff a really big deal. I mean, you're inarguably a Mount Rushmore guy and one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. And to know that this is the end of full time, I mean, this is a big one, Chad.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think it's like slowly starting to hit a little bit more. Like, shoot, like the other night I was just standing looking out on my back property where my track is, and
yeah,
the hours logged out there and the time spent prepping and watering the track, teaching riders and stuff like that. And it really starts to hit where, it's like, man, like this isn't going to be happening as much anymore, which like I'm perfectly okay with. It's just, it's something that you've been doing for 20 plus years, and it's going to be a life-changing experience. But, I think the biggest thing that I'm so ready for is, chasing my family more than them chasing me. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm glad for you and for them. I think that's going to be really cool. As a racer, you're so selfish. Everybody does everything for you. And I know the way that you are, that you'll be able to invert that and do the exact opposites for your family. So that's a really cool thing. How about T Brown being on the wrenches for you this summer, Chad? That's got to be a pretty cool thing. I see the photos of Thomas, on the back of the quad with you, standing with you on the gate. And I'm like, man, how cool is that? Teammates and competitors and, best buddies and the whole gamut there. But yeah, to have him on the wrenches for you for this last dance this season, pretty special thing. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Great friend to me, and he knows what makes me click. And man, just what I could kind of say about it is like two close friends just going and still chasing dreams. And for him to sacrifice his time and be out there with me at track and traveling to these events and getting off work, leaving his family at home. And it's a really cool thing that we're able to do together. And even him, like, I mean, I didn't tell Thomas until maybe I started throwing hints at him like a couple weeks after sunset, that I'm like, man, like, I don't know, I'm really leaning towards that this is going to be the last one. And we've talked a lot about, he's gone through it himself, and told me what he's kind of gone through, and I've kind of tried to help him too, through that. And but man, it's been a great ride, with having him along this final year. And it, I don't know, just really, really a testament to our friendship, just where we're at.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. How about Wienen Motorsports? Is Wienen Motorsports going to be a thing long into the future? Not going anywhere? Track presence, possibly a little bit. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think my main plans for that is find a couple of riders to carry the flag and
Max,
have that presence. Yeah. I mean, Max is my boy, so I want to see him. I want to see him basically step into my shoes and be able to live the life that I've been able to live, because he gets to see what I've been able to do, and he deserves it. So I really want to put a lot of focus into him and get him to that next level. And obviously he'll be a good representative for our business. And then I strongly enjoy coaching. So I think that'll be a good step for me. And I coach, some riders throughout the year, but I feel like I can really dig into them, when I'm not so focused on myself. So that'll be a lot of my focus next year. And like track presence, I mean, yeah, like there'll be some. I think my biggest thing is like I'm so burnt on the travel, especially these last 4 rounds out east of just.
Oh, it's a killer, dude.
Destroyed me. I'm driving the same road every 2 weeks, and
it's awful.
Yeah, it's and but I mean, there's people that do that all the time, but it's wearing on me more now.
I know, Chad, but they need to throw us the way the schedule played out this year in the Midwest, man. It sucks. It's all. Yeah. Can I just say that it sucks? It's sure, like, we're in the dog days of this season at this point, and all those races being out east are such a killer for where we come from. It's just it's so tough.
Yeah, I agree. I think hopefully that will change. That they'll have get 3 rounds, an extra round out this way will do a lot, but they certainly should not have 4 rounds that are within 4 hours of each other. Like, it makes it tough on the rest of the country. But I mean, there's people that travel from all over the place, and all that. But yeah, like there's still a lot of riders here in the Midwest, and I know it's a long way from the people on the East Coast, but it's a long way from us here in the Midwest too.
Just to have all those races out there again. And I'm not one to ever harp on the, I'm not even trying to be negative. It's just really hard. It's really hard, especially when we're used to, for a lot of years, we were used to Redbud now about this time of year, and to not have that. And then, now Loretta's, to not have Loretta's, kind of nearby, that's just a tough thing. So hopefully that's not a forever thing.
Yeah, for sure. And, going back on like Wienen Motorsports, and I feel like I can put more focus on that, now that more than ever, and help it continue to grow. And my plan is next year to open up the doors to like an engine program, and
sweet.
To kind of bring that where development with that, and bring that into like, not just selling cylinder heads, but doing like complete engines for customers and stuff like that. And I really enjoy that a lot. Like I enjoy building engines more than chassis, these days. And so I'm really gonna dig into that more. And
nice.
But yeah, like going to a bunch of events, like I'm not really into that just yet, because, that's what I'm trying to get away from a little bit. Yeah. But I know I will be showing face at some. I gotta kind of figure out my schedule first, and obviously my family. Got some years to catch up with them, and I'm like I said before, like I'm ready to chase them on their endeavors, where they want to go.
Yeah, I probably should have rephrased that, because I knew you weren't just going to chase around the country, going to all these races, trying to open up an easy up with some parts. I knew that's not what was going to go on here.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. So there will be a time and a place to recap your career and to talk about old stories and all those things. I don't want to do that when we still have meaningful races ahead for you. But I look at this list, and you referenced it a few times now, but you made your you made your pro debut in 2004, right? On a YFZ. And we know that the way that played out in 2005 and 6 and, then into 7 where things really got taken up multiple notches. We've told that story on the show before. I don't remember how in depth you got when we had you on in the early days of Digging Deep. What was your pro debut like? Because that's the one lost season for me when I remember your career is whatever happened in 2004. Like I remember, I think you were like racing Pro-Am and doing that whole thing and it wasn't going super well potentially. And you just decided to go pro. But what was the beginning days of you going pro like? Because again, 2004 makes this 22 years of professional ATV racing. But that 22 seasons ago, that was a long time ago. And that 2004 gets a little fuzzy for me. So I thought that would be fun to talk about before you got out of here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, just it was a struggle of a year going with Pro-Am. And I mean, Pro-Am is, it's a sprint race. And I was a terrible starter back then. So I could not get out of the gate. And I was like, well, if I can't do that, I might as well try and race pro. I had good speed, but I couldn't start with the front guys. So I'm like, well, let's step up to pro and race longer races and try to be strong there at the end. And I did that. And my first race was at High Point for my pro debut.
Okay.
There was 34 entries to the pro class.
Jesus.
And you had to qualify in the top 16 in the qualifier to make it into the mains.
Qualifying race, right? Not time qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying race.
Yep.
And I qualified through the qualifying race with 15th.
Okay.
So I was stoked. I'm like, all right, sweet. I want to go to the last chance qualifier. And so that was both Jeremy Lawson and I went pro at the same time.
Okay.
And back then, a lot of guys let's say if they wrapped up their championships, they would go 2 rounds early or a round early.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna get the party started a little bit sooner and do that. But I can't remember what I finished overall.
Okay.
I think it was around 16th or something like that. But I was more stoked about getting into the main and not missing the cut line, because 34 guys, there's 14 guys that are going home.
A lot of dudes are going home. Yeah.
There's as many guys going home as there is sometimes on the pro gate right now. Right. That's just a wild thing to, kind of live through, and very proud to, be able to go through that, because going into there, you have the Mount Rushmore of riders that are on the gate, the Doug Gus, the Tim Fars, the Jeremiah Jones, Natali, Joe Bird, Keith Little, Dana Creech, man, just an insane amount of lists of guys that are all-timers that I was racing against. And, to be able to line up with those guys and be a part of that generation a little bit. And I was like, yeah. It's the coolest thing in the world, honestly.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you about this last year, but we probably didn't talk at that time or whatever, or didn't have you on. I mean, I didn't have you on the show shortly thereafter, but I'm watching you race the pro class, and then I'm watching all the dudes in the Legends race. I'm like, I wonder if Chad's on the sideline thinking, those are my guys over there.
Yeah. One thing that would have made me so over the moon would have been if I was racing on the pro gate that day.
Yeah.
When those guys are out there running the Legends race, guys that I lined up with, and I'm still on the pro gate.
I had that exact thought, Chad.
That would have been all-time moment for me. But to see all those guys, and I think the ones that really hit home were the Doug still on his machine, the Wimmer and Pat Brown and those guys still on their machines and stuff that they raced on. And that cool factor was over the moon, just that moment. And like a time machine, right there. So
yeah, it's the best. And you weren't on track, Chad, but everybody, I mean, you were the still active guy. You were the still active guy. Everybody knows you would have still been out there and right, like you always say, at the tip of the spear. So yeah, I wish you wouldn't have been on the sideline too, but it still hits the same to me.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I know. It's just, that extra moment that what could have been, but man, I was sure glad that I was there to experience that.
Yeah. What a cool thing. Chad, last thing for you. So now my list of stats or whatever that we have inside the fantasy game, 22nd year as a professional, obviously all-time great, eight-time series champion, 66 wins, 144 podiums, 5-time Quad Cross of Nations champion. When I say that, what does that have flash through your mind? Those stats, dude, are absolutely nuts. The streak of championships, the podium streak, which is absolutely nuts. It's almost 10 years long. All those things, man. What does that make you think?
Oh, just that I've been able to live the best life, and being able to, make a living racing a quad and racing an ATV, and being able to provide for my family doing that, and living a dream. So I think that's probably the bits of that, and all the hard work and dedication really, really did pay off. And like, I kind of look back on like the guys that are still here, like the Mark Baldwin, like sometimes Wayne from PEP comes around, and a lot of those guys that seen me, remember me from the first time that we met, and, to kind of like still look at them the same way, like where I can kind of like wink at them, be like, pretty cool that, they were there when the first time, and they're, Mark's still going to be there, at the last. And it's probably the cool thing, because, you don't know what's going to happen the first time that you meet, and where it's going to go, and where it's went, good times and bad, and got to share a lot of good times with my family, and even my kids. Like, hopefully my kids can grow up and still like remember what I did.
I would think they're definitely going to be able to remember that. I think you can see in Lakin's face and your daughter's face too in recent years here that, they can see how big of a deal Chad Wienen is at these races. They can see how big of a deal Dad is at these races. And that's a really cool thing. Cause I would think as a father, when Lakin is just a little guy, you're hoping to get to where you are now, where he is able to take it in and enjoy it a little bit and know what Dad's got going on. Yeah. And it's been pretty cool to see you guys get to that space, because that's where you've been at in these last couple of years. And that's a cool thing.
Yeah, it was funny. We're at the last round in Pleasure Valley, and we got done with that first moto, and I can tell when he's out there paying attention to me and stuff like that. He comes back, it's like, Papa, man, that was a good race. Like, good job. I'm like, thanks, son. Like, and I kind of whispered to him, like, hey, just make sure you always remember that your papa is a badass. Kind of joking with him. Like, yeah. And he looked at me and he just smiled. He's like, I know.
That's awesome. How cool is that?
Yeah. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And, especially, being able to, to ride like that last round for that first moto. And I know there's still more of that to come, but that's what I want to be able to do. And, for like my son and my daughter to remember, like, man, like, Dad could rip back in his day. And, it's just all fun and stuff like that, and just making memories,
I love it, man. Well, speaking of making memories, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you, Chad, because when I first dreamt up this little idea of doing these interviews and trying to tell some stories and talk about the races a little bit, this whole digging deep thing, I shot you a message at the very beginning before we had done anything, and you were game for it. And that is something I'll forever be grateful for, because I've told the story before and I don't know if I've ever told you, but I was motivated to tell your story in its entirety because I felt like people didn't know the beginning of your story well enough. And I thought that people had forgotten where you had come from. It got to the point that we had done our first interview, and I'm sure the audio sounds terrible. And I wouldn't listen back to it today because, I wouldn't probably want to hear what it sounded like back then or how I was or whatever the case may be. But it got to like the time when our episode was out, and then it was time for episode 2. And I'm like, now what? My only plan was to put out a Chad Wienen episode. So the fact that you gave me the time of day and we're game for it, I'm forever grateful, because 162 episodes later and this little thing that we got going on, I don't know if it would have ever been like this or the same without your involvement at the beginning. So I'm forever grateful for you, pal.
Honor, Cody, man. Like I remember that pretty well. So you're a good, ambassador for our sport, a good voice, and you know how to put the good stuff out there for people to listen to, and tell people stories. And we needed that in our sport because it's hard to remember everything by memory. And it's good to hear things, good things like that, come across.
I appreciate it. The other thing I got that I want to find, I got some photos of me, WPSA late 2007 at the end of the summer after the season was over. And I'm standing with my number 1 plate in my first national championship. I'm so psyched. And I'm wearing a Chad Wienen shirt with the number 44 and your signature on the front. Mm-hmm. And that whole summer, right? Like that was your glow up. That was you signing with Suzuki and the whole deal. And like, as a kid, like everybody, and still now, like everybody loves the underdog story. That's why I've always resonated with you so much. Like that's why you've always been my guy. And people are going to think I'm blowing you right now. Like people give me a hard time for the fact that that's what I do to my guests, but this is the God's honest truth. I've always loved you because that's the story everybody loves in sports is you cheer for the underdog. And that was you at the beginning. And I always thought like 8 championships later that you weren't the guy that had the silver spoon. You weren't the guy that raced his whole, done all the championships and raced as a youth rider and all these things. Like that's why I loved your story so much. And like I said, still to this day, there's nothing like it. Like so rarely do we see those stories come together in our sport or in others. And that'll just forever be the coolest thing to me is, you were the guy on the Banshee at the county fair.
Yeah, for sure. No, very proud of that path and very proud of the process of that, and being able to live it firsthand and reflect on it, and I'm gonna enjoy it now. Because when you go through all those, races and all those years and championships, you're always thinking on to the next, and it's my time to really enjoy them, and I appreciate those words.
Yeah, you deserve it, pal. Well, I've taken enough of your time. I can't thank you enough for everything. We'll do this again. Like I said, there'll be a time and place for more, but wishing you the best at Briarcliff, at the Quad Cross of Nations. We'll obviously talk, in between now and then, but man, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for us. Congrats on an amazing career. It's not over. Hopefully we got some highlights coming here yet, Chad. But I can't thank you enough for your time tonight and can't wait to see how this last chapter or 2 is going to play out.
For sure. Thank you for that. And hopefully we see you in the flesh at Briarcliff.
Briarcliff, man. Yeah, I'll see you.
All right. We'll see you there.
Man. Well, thanks for everything, Chad. And have a good night. We'll see you soon.
See you.
Awesome. Thanks. That's Chad Wienen signing off on the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. Have a good night, pal. Like I said to Chad, I had a feeling that this was coming, so I've been trying to cherish every one of these races this season with him on the gate, but these final 2 outings are going to be something special. In the meantime, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled race review pod in the next couple days, and we are planning a Briarcliff preview as well with at least one special guest, so stay tuned for that. Major thanks to tonight's featured guest, legendary 8-time champ Chad Wienen. Thanks to producer Dallas Jansen, my brother, for all his hard work. Thanks to my wife Brooke, and thanks to AMA official Harv Whipple. Also, special shout out to Motomom Designs for killing it on the camera for us. Thanks to all of our partners, CST Tires. Go to shop.csttires.com today Yamaha thanks to Blue Crew, thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing. Use code DiggingDeep15 at uppracing.com and Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DiggingDeep20 at manscaped.com. Support all the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. Find it all on our website, and be sure to click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner for all your gear and parts needs and to help us out in the process. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. You can shop our Digging Deep merch at shop.diggingdeepatvmx.com. You can find all things Digging Deep ATV Fantasy related at atvfantasy.com. You can leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show, 920-569-3519. I know we have at least one voicemail, I believe, to play on the Race Review Pod. So if you want to get in on that and join the party, feel free to do that by calling 920-569-3519. If you're looking for another easy way to support us, you can visit our website and click the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee buttons. This allows you to set up a one-time or monthly contribution to support our efforts. And the other thing I want to note is it is time, we got about a month left, for you to get in on our Quad Cross of Nations Dream Experience Trip giveaway, that whole deal. We'll share more and more details as the month unfolds here, but get in on that. We're hoping to send a couple of you to the Quad Cross of Nations, and it just got that much more special knowing that this is going to be Chad Wienen's swan song on the world stage. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen, for additional content, coverage, and more fun stuff as these next few races, the finale at Briarcliff and the Quad Cross of Nations, just got a whole lot more special. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube, and more. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. All episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsor links, and discount codes, show merchandise, fantasy info, and more can all be found on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com. So check that out today. Be a friend, tell a friend. Please download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. And with that, for Chad Wienen, Brooke Jansen, Dallas Jansen, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen, thanks for listening to and making us the most listened to podcast in ATV racing, with more than 284,000 downloads last month in 110 total countries. Until next time, thanks for joining us in Digging Deep with the Stars of ATV Motocross. Things are crashing and burning here at the Digging Deep podcast, much like the Titanic.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
Quadlers are freaking gnarly.